as comfortable as possible, actually. So if you find it difficult to get comfortable in this position, just don't give up. Remember, we are here to cultivate with your mind, not your knees. So you can sit on a chair or even on the couch if you'd like. Number 2, keep your back as straight as possible. So relax and just don't tense up. Don't tilt or lean your head or your neck, because it should all be centered. And let your shoulders fall naturally. Put your hands comfortably on your lap or even on your knees. Number 3, you can keep your eyes open, closed, or half closed. Most people prefer to begin with eyes that are closed or half closed, but there's no rules, okay? Number 4, breathe in and out through your nostrils. And as you do this, concentrate on the physical sensation of air going in and out through your nose. Feel the physical sensations. Focus on your breathing and nothing else. And if you like, you can count your breaths in the following way. So, breathe in through your nostrils, counting 1. Breathe out through your nostrils, counting 2. Breathe in through your nostrils, counting 3. Breathe out through your nostrils, 4. And continue doing this until you count to 10. And then go do it all over again. Inshallah and Ashe, listening to myself. Today I've got Lily on the table. We are in the midst of the mind. And have you ever sat and watched your thoughts stream in, your feelings, what we think being guided by our emotions streaming in? That kind of is the task for today. It's for the mind to actually have a relationship with our feelers, to be in relation. So our thoughts are identifying a way to kind of label or redefine our future, what that vision looks like, and it's happening. I can see it out there, but our thoughts are streaming in. Are they making sense with our feelings? Not the other way around. Feelings come before our thoughts. So it's like getting an auto tune-up throughout the day. How does the body feel? How does the heart feel? Etc. and so on and so forth. But does the future feel bright to you? Do you believe in your heart that this future even exists? Or what is the vision that you have for your future? That unlimited possibility of a future that we all can live. So with that, welcome to the Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host. I'm a practicing holistic shaman and medium, an otherworldly life coach, a subtle energetic surgeon, but I do go by the term holistic Sha'medium, a blend of the both. But my intention is to utilize the power of the indigenous technologies, the ways of the indigenous, the elemental realms, our original divine blueprint to navigate our soul's harmonic into the realms of the elemental beings, the elemental highway, into the imaginal realm through the gateway of the shamanic portal, our 8th energetic center, the cosmos, the subtle energies, elemental beings, and really just so much more, with offerings, prescriptions, and rituals to really add to the juice of your personal container, your personal medicine, your prime directive, the inner genius, just assisting you in discovering your own personal medicine, the star that I believe each and every one of us are, really reintroducing you to that magical being, that spirit that resides within you, so you shine even brighter. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. I have to play with Lily. I don't know if you can see her. So I want to say hi, Lil. She's like, no, just keep petting me, Mom. But we're at the crosswinds, really, of how our future life may unfold. It's really kind of on the horizon. The main ingredients on the stage is our mind, what we think about it. And have you been feeling different about your future? If you haven't read Atlas Shrugged, or if you have, comment that. But what we feel about the future is feeling transformed. It may be unique. It may be demystified. Up until this moment, you may have had a challenging time as to what our emotional field, our emotions, was moving us or shifting us towards. The streams of emotions, like a spring runoff in the spring, the clarity of the waters, the feelings, the emotional tidal waves, feeling the feels with a clear, vivid picture. So we may not be able to give a definition to them. However, as we flow of the waters or flow with the waters, it moves us towards a new vision. It literally may even feel like a emotional vision quest, if you will. And our mind shifts to a squire, if you will, a squire, the mind squiring, complete. It starts understanding the different sensations that are streaming in, like the mind becomes a tool. And our feelings elevate our narrative, the story that we've been telling ourselves, and show us the river that we are streaming towards. So, what's so bad about feeling good, right? But it would be wise, go to a tree, a wise idea to journal our feelings, talking to the waters, the rivers, just like yesterday, we're still in these streams. And in doing so, the future life begins to literally take form. It starts to manifest, taking shape. Knowing the future that's available and moving towards that in our frequency. And if you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do. Authentically, heartfelt only. Tonya D. And for those of you that have been subscribing, my new subscribers, Ashe, blessings, and thank you. And if you don't mind hitting the bell so you're notified as well, and just know a comment or a share, that will get you a message for your day to get you on your way or for the weekend. Just echoing me out to other like-minded musers in the universe, assisting with the algorithm, who also enjoy otherworldly musing insights of the other world, the world of spirit, source, the beings that are otherworldly, elemental. That's kind of my playground. But you can also find me on other social platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course my Musing with Tanya D podcast, which I will be recording today. But if your soul's integrity wishes to dive on deeper into the realms of the other world, head on over to my Musing Corridor. This is my online digital library in the sky, where I have some amazing options to assist you, to guide you. It's a private community as well, where I utilize and speak with other musers in my corridor. I really am your shamanic otherworldly assistant. You truly are your own healer. Sometimes we need an otherworldly perspective to see through those cross threads. And also just a few announcements. How often do you take time and space for your inner chalice, just cleansing out the cobwebs, the toxic debris? You know, your soul may be calling for an inward journey to solicit solitude. Your spirit is probably soliciting it. It's a one-time investment in yourself, and it's also available until midnight, July 31st. And honestly, this will be my last time offering discounts for the season of 2022. But this is a growing library of meditation, and I also have the link in the show notes. If you have questions, just comment there. But manifesting, such a big word, manifesting. So coming soon on the highway is The Witcher's Way to Manifestation. It'll be coming to a venue near you. If you are curious, subscribe where it fits your living style. You can subscribe on YouTube here, my social platforms, or within my newsletter. So with the sensations of believing in a future life and feeling those feelings streaming in with a belief of actually seeing it, a new story, it's like being able to come up with a new mantra for your life with a feeling that actually bubbles in, holds the stage of a personal future, a future life. And if you haven't already, please do read Atlas Shrugged. We are in some curious times indeed. But just adding emotions to our sauce of what our future does look like. Visions of clarity, is your mind clear and mindful? And the moon's in the high tides of Aquarius, so our visions will be innovative, possibly erratic, maybe radical, but also taking form, streaming. Maybe we're feeling a little up-leveled, like if you have been feeling gloomy, you now feel bright and sunny. And with Jupiter's at the degree of committing or deciding to believing differently and acting in faith, or a decision you take is transformed. So I would really create an affirmation that goes with what you feel about your future and also what you believe about your future. Just combining the two, it's like this cleansing affirmation that sparks clearly into our mind. It's speaking a different message. So with the messages today, hang on, Lil. Don't touch the, don't help me out, pumpkin. We have water, fire, and air sigils there. See what resonates with you and comment. I should have put that up sooner. What sigil comments for you? Comment in the show notes. And on the elemental highway, We have a Yin Earth Snake of a day, a snake of the earth, right? This is dry earth. So this is like a desert snake, snakes that like the heat, rattlesnakes of all things. And okay, I'll give you the fire. Okay, and at the hour of the horse, we do have a fire direction. The rise of the phoenix from the ashes. This happens around noon. Actually, it's probably starting around right now, actually. Young metal's in storage in the snake. It actually, it's the birth of metal. And Earth itself, right now, it's dominating, it's excessive, it's extremely strong, and it's also dry. So yin water and metal would be the best combination for our day. Oh, look, you can see Lily. Hi, Lil. Talk to the group. Say hello, pumpkin. So without yin water, that's kind of the energy we need. It's impossible to balance our day. Getting into the flow, and the tiger works, the energy of the tiger, to loosen up the dry earth, and the water also helps, so it's like rain. It's a rainy day. But metal would be the main ingredient, to balance our day. This is stones, it's breath work, it's also journaling, sitting by a stream or moving water and journaling to really get into the flow of what you feel and the flow of what you believe, and having a knowing, like you just know it, right? But the sound of metal, the snake, which is kind of funny, the sound of metal is like a snake. So you could to bring that in, to start getting your voice activated. And being that the super god, or the talent, it comes in on the year stem, we've got fire and earth, so it's heavy in a weird way. But the talent coming in is actually the communicator. So it really is a magical day to be out in a meadow even, or somewhere out in nature, somewhere where you can be alone with your inner solitude and communicate with your soul, writing your own soul story, utilizing your creative skills, your original talent, if you will. Communicator. The original, where the communicator comes from, is the director. So you may be feeling as if it's time to be the director of your life story. Okay, so with that, you choose fire. I'll show them one more time. Fire, water, and air. So fun. Okay, Lily's getting down. My phone's going up. Okay, I'm going with water first, but I will get to fire. Let me get rid of, whoopsie, hang on, I got too many options on my threads here. Dun, 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 dun. Water, your message comes from number 48, getting back to the elementals, which I couldn't agree more. We all need to get back to our elemental highway, grounding our foundation. But 48 is committing to where our heart belongs. And when we commit to our heart, we then feel the love and we believe in ourselves. Self manifesting through the belief channel of believing in ourselves. Doesn't take anything else to believe in ourselves but our heartfelt self. This is heartfelt committing, knowing in ourselves where we belong and do not belong, and feeling the love that we have for ourselves, within ourselves, the story we tell ourselves in our chalice, and believing in those things of ourselves to ourselves. So this is like, woo, getting the sauce moving. But this is the time to bring in some elemental magic into our life. Hello, right? Getting outside, maybe doing something witchy or wild, or both. I prefer to do both. And just letting go of who we believe we have to be. Stepping into our elemental self. That's why I talk about the elemental highway. It's breaking free from logic and pragmatism. It's a time to explore the world with childlike wonder, curiosity, getting past the fear of change and the fear of trying new things. I say do it, right? If it blows your skirt up. But the elements they're most magic within circles, right? Whatever that looks like. I play with all of the elemental realms: earth, fire, air, water, spirit, and of course, ether, star, light, sound, all the elementals. I like to add to my cosmic soup. But these elements create all matter in life, energy to matter, and it takes time to bring things down into their simplest main stage ingredient or element, to get us back to our roots, to our foundation. So it's like, what are the basics of what we are building or producing or manifesting? So if you're a seasoned creator, what was your original plan or your original dream? So there's a likelihood that you've grown since your journey began. I know my journey's began if you've been watching me for a while. It may be time to shift the plans, add some ingredients so that you can make more sense of what that is to yourself now. And getting back to the basics, maybe exploring the world like a child, seeing things new from that perspective, like fresh eyes. Little kids always see things with different eyes. And if you sit and watch them, they can actually show us that perspective, getting us back down to our childlike wonder. And when we break things down into their most little basic parts, we can then put them back together again in different novel ways, if you will, and just take another look at what we're already doing and what we've already done, and just take special notice of the magic that we already have access to. It may be a time to cut away extra drama, networking, extracurriculars that aren't really 100% aligned with your basic ingredient, your foundation, and really call in the elements as you get back to your own kind of elemental, that essence, like the quintessential desire that runs through everything that we do. Like, what is that and what always remains the same? Sometimes we just have to switch it, tweak it literally just a little bit. And when we think of magic, the magic that's available to us in the elemental realm, fire, earth, metal, water, mineral, etc., what does come up for you under each element? Write a list. And when that's done, can you see how your list could really assist you to understand the next steps and how elemental energies can inspire you? Like, how could you bring more fire into your life, or air, water, earth, etc., so on and so on. So it's really some awesome sauce there. Okay, now I'll go with fire just because it's exciting. This one's curious. This is 18, Nourish the Sacred Feminine. I would totally be checking out my Divine Feminine podcast, Otherworldly, just a few weeks ago. But 18, this is committing to our heart. When we make the decision to commit to our heart then decides, by the way. And in doing that, we then take action. So this is heartfelt action. Our heart is our prime directive to decide and commit. And nourishing the sacred feminine. I love that already. This is a yin energy. It's our inner knowing. It's the unconscious mind. It's listening to our intuition and showing ourselves unconditional love. But it's also fertility. It's those prophetic dreams, if you have them. It's also the circadian cycles, the breath, and even the phases of the moon. Wisdom, traditions, co-creating, teaching, nurturing, healing. But really, authentically, this is about using our emotions as a guide and facilitating new relationships. But it's also, because it's otherworldly, it's a message of self-care today, where illusions, maybe fear or anxiety about the unknown, maybe we're missing something potentially that we can't see. It's a time to really let go of the negative, the self-talk, and tap into our innate inner knowing, like work to be done with the shadow self, which I love. I think there's always magic in the dark, the dark side. But it's a time really for deep introspection, like going inside as we wait for just a new idea to grow and develop and birth a new seed. Maybe you've already planted the seeds, and sometimes divine timing requires a period of rest for things to culminate and ripen. So the moon, which I live by, I'm a reflector in human design, the moon asks us to be open to receive, to reflect, take time, take space, to pause, and really kind of collapse into the waiting. So she's kind of the waning crescent that casts the moonlight glow over the landscape of our life, the treasure box. But she's kind of, the light, I call them sparkly, like fairy dust, I guess, sparkling light onto our path, but only doing it very dimly, because it's the hope that we will listen and see those subtle signs and the wise whispering of the trees and the winds that are all around us. So it's time to look directly into those shadows of any lingering wounds that may continue to affect our current understanding, our divine purpose, our inner genius, and remembering that in the dark, it really is easy to blow fear and delusions out of proportion. A lot of people do that, right? So don't strain to see what you cannot see right now in the moment. Instead, focus on your inner knowing, your inner garden, and on what you can see. Just allowing that intuitive nudges and any persistent feelings, emotions, to help translate your gentle illuminations. So it's a message of trusting yourself, So it's like, what does the sacred feminine mean to you? Or do you have any other ways of naming this energy, this frequency? And how do you nourish this receptive, intuitive state? Do you tend to favor strategy or intuition? And then how do you decide those two opposing forces? This is the channel of the mind, actually. Okay, and who chose the air? Air. This is great. Our final message, which is we are magic. We all are magic, right? But this is the sun. This is the one. It's a sacred heart. It's protecting and trusting. It's our purest heart, purity of heart. It's like, is my heart safe? Is it feel protected? So the essential messages, right? It's manifestation. It's our innate skill. It's the power to bring our dreams to life. It's being optimistic. It's being creative. It's being magic, all of the three swirling around. But it's also the wisdom, the innate wisdom and the resourcefulness that we have inside of us. And it's a time to really practice what we preach. Soul instigated, and just knowing that we authentically, truly are magical. We are stardust in human form, and we can bring our dreams into life, into fruition, from our ability to literally envision from our future what that looks like, and our ability to bring it into fruition through the intentional action. That is the message of the 18 in a way, but we can co-create the fabric of our reality by intermingling our thoughts, will, desires, and doings, what we're being, to do, to have. So it's time to use our hands, literally, the power pathway, as a conduit for our energetic ideas and thought forms, maybe write, collaborate with the divine universe, the great spirit, and actively change the world around us in doing so. So this is like creation, making connections, writing our intentions, healing, and knowing that great strides and incredible progress are literally going to open up, especially into the weekend flowing in, because we're going to be in our peace and our spiritual integrity through the weekend, which is super saucy. And just knowing that we have everything that we need to really make our dreams come alive. So if you're feeling blocked, you may be scattering your resources instead of focusing on a specific goal. That is the way to manifestation, is picking one thing and waiting till it comes to fruition. It's the baby steps and the growth. But just make sure that you're not overshadowing your positive thinking with any underlying fears of failure or unintentional thought patterns, which always get in the way, that are kind of scrambling up our vibe. Kind of reminds me of a Sudoku in a way. But just focus on your thoughts and we become limitless. And do you feel the power just running through your palms? I mean, mine are starting to tinkle just because I already talked about that. So it's kind of funny. Or maybe it's Lily, petting Lily, cats, right? Or how often are you bringing your most treasured desires to the front of your mind? And what actions are you taking to literally inspire or bring them to life? Are we leveraging our optimism, the wisdom, and being resourceful? Or which of our talents is holding or hiding underneath the surface, the rug, and why is it not being utilized? It's like not being utilized. It's like under the rug. Are we playing small? Using the magic that resides within us to be lighting up our star. We're feeling the master plan. Feelings are streaming in. So our soul really comes to the stage. So this is a question of, are we being a master Jedi? So that's the magic of what's inside of us. It's that kind of a memo kind of a day. You may get an aha moment. There's no need to label it. Go with the flow. It's a day for fresh inspiration, fresh ingredients, new insight. Literally like fresh garden ingredients, right? Woo, it just feels different than buying them from the store. That's kind of that frequency. So you may feel as if you're on the rapids of life, the moment to label an energy, what do we believe inside of ourselves? A lot of times it's the outer world. So I'm one to go against the beliefs of man. I go with my feelings. It's like, does that feel like a clear belief? Like when someone's telling me something, there's no need to engage or sign on the dotted line. If you do get a funny feeling, really take time, take space, do it like a check-in, right, on your beliefs, and see if creator sees our light, and listening to our intuition to see what is happening and identifying what is happening and what really that means. Take notice, write it down. Those aha moments. And I kind of keep them to myself because sometimes they're pretty big sometimes. But we have two streams of the mind, our intuitively reading, our feelings, and our beliefs. So we've got these lucky insights that are literally streaming in. They are going to come in possibly erratic, like those aha moments and hunches and gut senses. There's lots of streaming in the communication field. So it's best to get out of our mind and stream the emotion and also stream with the belief and see if they're connecting, labeling in a way, knowing what to do with them. And the cosmic cherry literally is feeling emotions, not feeling like the cup, into the details. And that does turn the page for the day. It turns the page. So there's no negotiating what we want with what we feel and believe. And the details are literally in the magic. That is the sauce. So with the insights, metal is the elemental, communicating, clear speaking, mineral, right? It's the of the snake, the sacral, the soul's harmonic. To the sacral, you could voom through all of your energetic centers, just cleansing the cosmic ingredients of what our heart believes, what we feel inside of us. And being that we're in the season of the sacral, these are like the higher octaves. It's emotional empathy, along with our solar plexus, knowing we are worthy, boosting our self-esteem, our self-confidence, listening to our soul's harmonic, our prime directive. So it's like, what does our soul believe to be true? And push literally all the other voices, physical world people as well, around us, the negative voices, just flick that shift away, boom, pop it out. Sometimes we have to cleanse the chalice of these emotional debris of others and also ourselves. Sometimes we get a little nitty gritty in our minds, right? But it's a tool. I would affirm every day I am doing great, and I've been hanging on to that field for a while. But today I would affirm that I am feeling and believing my intuition like a Jedi master that just feels super saucy. So, in doing so, no outer forces of adversity or forces in general come into our chalice. Be like a Yoda. And with that, thank you for tuning in, Cassie, and I will see you on the other side, being Monday. Make the weekend, I would make it a spiritual, peaceful kind of destination and feeling spiritual peace, integrity. I would go to water. We're in the water season, Cancer, bubbling spring, to get our feelings flowing. So with that, blessings, and I will see you as always on the other side. Inshallah and Ashe.